Okay, you guys, this is take two. I, I just sat and did a video. I think it ended up being like 11 and a half minutes long. No sound. No sound at all, which is perfect for what we're talking about today. So, what I wanted to do, come to you today with is a little formula that I learned from Jack Canfield years ago. And if you don't know who Jack Canfield is, he is the gentleman who co-authored the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And he's gone on to do a million other things, the success principles, and he's got entire programs, an amazing, amazing coach. But the biggest takeaway that I learned from his program is a little formula. I'll put it on here. There we go. Event plus reaction equals outcome. So, what that means is there are certain things in life that you can control, and there are certain things in your life you cannot control. You cannot control events, but you can control your reaction to those events. So, let me give you an example. This is November. We just had an election, right? You couldn't control the event, right? You could control your votes, right? But you couldn't control the overall event. You couldn't control what went on during that event. You're not going to be able to control what goes on after that event. But what you can control is your reaction to that event. This has been a life changer for me. This came into play about a year ago. And this is not a story that I typically have shared in the past just because I didn't want to give it a whole lot of energy in my life, but it's a great illustration of how this little formula played into my life. About a year ago, my son and I came home. I think I was picking him up from school, and we live out in the middle of nowhere. So there's really no reason for anybody to be on our property except for us. Well, I was looking out the window. I was getting ready to get on a conference call. I was looking out the window, and I noticed a gentleman walking down the middle of our driveway with a shotgun in the crook of his arm. And I thought, that doesn't seem right. What's going on here? Without getting into a lot of details, I was on the phone with 911, and the police came up and got us, and my son and I were fine. And in the process, though, 2 policemen were shot. So that is an unfortunate circumstance, obviously. But my son and I were okay. Now, that event I couldn't have controlled, right? I came home from doing my stuff with my son. I didn't have any control over who was on our property at that time, right? But the only thing I could control was my reaction to that. Had my son and I freaked out, I could have come back to my husband and said, I never want to move back there again. I don't want to step foot on that property. I don't want anywhere near to live in the country. I want to live in a gated property, or I want to live in an apartment with a doorman and a steel door. And that's not the way I reacted, because I realized that I can't live in what if, right? I can't live in the shoulda, woulda, coulda. Could have something happened? Yeah, that could have been a tragic outcome for our people. It was tragic that 2 policemen were shot, but they're still alive. They're okay, recovering, but they're okay. So if I had chosen a different reaction to that, it would have changed my outcome, right? The event was the event. I didn't have any control over that. I had control over my reaction, which dictated how the outcome came out. So my point in telling you that story is, again, I couldn't deal with, because we had a lot of people that was like, what if this happened? What if that happened? Yeah, but it didn't. I can't deal in anything but reality. I can't deal in a hypothetical situation, because if I had sat here and really truly given a lot of thought to what could have happened or what might have happened, or, oh my God, that would cut me off at my knees. And I am a person, as you all are, with a finite amount of energy. That means I only have a certain amount of energy to spend in my life. And I'm not going to spend it on things or events that I cannot control. But what I do spend my time and my energy on are things that I can control. So one of the reasons that I truly appreciate this little formula is, again, it's been a huge life changer for me. And the even bigger blessing in all of this is that it's something that I'm passing down onto my child. And my husband and I tell him this all the time, right? This is personal responsibility, meaning you don't have any control over if that kid comes up to you at school and kicks you in the shin, or you don't have any control, or if it's something the teacher said to you you thought was unfair. You don't have any control over that. But what you do have control over is your reaction. That's where you need to put your energy. Don't put your energy in something that you cannot control. There's a great story about a gentleman who is a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur, and he and his brother were both raised in the same household with a father who was an abusive alcoholic. The one brother grew up to be an abusive alcoholic, and he said, "What else did you expect me to be? Look at the environment that I grew up in. How else was I supposed to turn out except to become an abusive alcoholic?" The other gentleman, who turned out to be this multi-million-dollar entrepreneur, turned out to be a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur because he used that circumstance, his events, as a reason to propel himself forward and not as an excuse to keep him stuck. His reaction was, "Well, how else did you think I was going to turn out? Look at my father. I didn't want to repeat that behavior. I didn't want to repeat that pattern. So I did everything in my power," his reaction, "to make sure that his outcome was incredibly different from the one that he grew up in." So if you're not liking your outcome in your life, you can't change the event, but you certainly can change the reaction. That's the only thing you can change, as a matter of fact. Right? And this is such a great teachable moment for kids. Like I said with my son, that we're teaching him that you can't control things that happen to you. You can't control when someone cuts you off in traffic. You can't control if you're fired by a client. You can't control the weather. You can't control people's opinions of you. Did you know that? You can't control people's opinions of you. So the only thing you can control is your reaction to them. You don't like me? That's okay. That's free speech. You're allowed not to like me, right? You're an individual. I'm an individual. If you don't like me, that's okay. That's not a problem. But I'm not going to spend that finite amount of energy worrying about the fact that you don't like me. I'm going to move on. And that is going to dictate my outcome. So I encourage you to look at some times in your life or some places in your life where you can change your reaction. And you can use that. The genius of this is that you can use this in your business life, in your personal life, in your day-to-day, in your little choices, in your big choices. When I first moved in with my husband, the phone rang. And this is such a little tiny simple thing, but it shifted my mindset so dramatically that my mind goes to that all the time. And I tell this story to people all the time. The phone rang, and I always grew up in a household, because I grew up in a very codependent household, that, "Where's the phone? We have to get the phone. You can't let the phone ring, right? We have to get to the phone," because you certainly don't want to disappoint the other person on the end of the line that's trying to get a hold of you. And so when the phone was ringing like crazy, I said to my husband, "Where's the phone? Got to get the phone. Who's got the phone? Where the hell is the phone?" And he said, "You could let that go to voicemail." And I went, "What? Is that legal? Are we allowed to do that? Is that okay? Oh, okay. I guess that is okay." My husband has been such, and he doesn't even know it. My husband has been such a phenomenal teacher in my life, is to just exactly this method. It's okay that you're coming at me and yelling. It's okay that you're coming at me and trying to guilt me into, oh, this is not behavior that I do with him. I'm just saying in general. When people come at you and they're sad, or when people come at you and they're angry, or when people come at you and they're trying to guilt you into doing something, that's them, right? You don't have to take on that energy as your own. Again, that's the R part of the equation. That's the reaction, which will dictate the outcome. Are you guys seeing a pattern here? So as you go through your life, I really encourage you this week, take it in small steps, because this does require practice. This truly is a training. Go through this week and see what you instantly react to, right? See what you instantly think, "That's not my fault. That's their fault. They made me angry." We hear this with my son, who's 11, and that's very age appropriate. "Well, he did that and he made me angry." No, 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 no. He did that, which was the event. And then your reaction was you got angry, which dictated your outcome, right? If we can teach ourselves that we have control over everything that we react to in our lives, that is truly a game changer. And then the other thing, which we'll talk about at a later date, but I love, that's one of my other favorite topics, is letting go of the outcome, right? That outcome, I have a purpose and I have an intent when I do something, but I completely let go of the outcome. That's another mind blower. We'll get into that another time. So I hope this has served you well. I would love to hear how you guys have used this in your life. Have you heard about this in your life before? Something in your life that you think that you're going to try to use this with this week. And I hope this has served you well. I hope the sound comes out this time. But again, there's a perfect one. The event was, I don't know how many sound. My reaction could have been like, forget it. I stink at this. I'm not going to go. My outcome was, okay, well, that's not failure, that's feedback. So I just get on, and this time I checked my mic, and hopefully it's working. So, but we'll see. Anyways, I hope this has served you well. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.